Good day, everyone. Our group will be presenting the proposed knowledge management system for SM Prime Holdings Incorporated. As we all know, SM Prime manages one of the biggest mall networks in the country, and because of that scale, the company produces thousands of data points every single day. What our project tries to solve is the gap between having a lot of information and being able to use it well. The knowledge management system that we have designed for SMPH aims to organize the company's data, then convert it into a usable knowledge and support better and faster decision making across all their malls. So, in order to understand why KMS is needed for SMPH, we first have to look at what actually is happening in the company. For context, across the 80 malls of the SMPH, every department gathers information in its own way, such as foot traffic counters generate millions of records, point of sale or POS system produce hourly reports, and event teams create their own sets of documentation. However, none of these data streams are interconnected with each other. And with this, each mall works with their own sets of spreadsheet, its own set of template, its own interpretation of event performance. And because the information for SMPH is fragmented, strong ideas remain confined into just a single mall location, and any successful event format in one mall will not be shared into other malls. For example, is that a successful tenant mix strategy that has been proven effective in SM North EDSA will not be shared in SM Mega Mall. And these gaps will slow down the organization, and it will also lead to repeated work and make it harder for SM Prime to sustain high occupancy rate, which have often ranged from 92 to 94%. With this, a unified KMS will be able to solve this issue and bridge information with just a single structured platform. This now brings us to the core business problem. SM Prime has plenty of data, but because it is inconsistent and scattered, the company cannot connect the dots. It becomes difficult to see which tenants actually drive foot traffic, which events generates real sales uplift, and which design changes improve customer flow. And without this clarity, the company cannot easily replicate the success across its malls. And to address these issues, our proposed KMS will focus on three measurable goals. The first goal that we have is to reduce leasing and tenant mix decision time by 20%, so that teams can respond more quickly to market conditions. And our second goal is to increase best practice reuse by 30% to ensure strong ideas and that data would not remain siloed. And our third goal is to reduce vacancy backfill time by 15% to help maintain stable mall performance. And together, these three goals will reinforce the organization's priority of operational efficiency and consistent results across its mall portfolio.
To design a system that truly supports learning and continuous improvement, we use the SECI model by Nonaka and Takauchi. Now, this model explains how knowledge grows inside an organization, and it starts with socialization, where employees share experience-based insights that are often not recorded. And it leads to externalization, where these insights are documented and placed into structured formats. Here comes combination, where reports and data are gathered, compared, and analyzed together. And finally, internalization takes place when employees apply these insights into their work, forming new habits and capabilities. Now, this model is very relevant to SM Prime because mall operations rely a lot on what people learn on the job. Now, our knowledge management system helps convert these insights into knowledge that everyone in the organization can access. To make the SECI model practical, our knowledge management system supports each stage directly. For socialization, the system includes collaboration spaces where teams can record field observations quickly. For externalization, standardized templates like event return on investment reports and tenant mix logs help ensure information is captured the same way across the malls. Now for combination, the platform integrates foot traffic, sales, and leasing data into analytics dashboards that help teams understand performance patterns. And for internalization, the system provides playbooks, recommended actions, and past cases that guide in decision making. Now, by following all four stages, the system allows SM Prime to turn everyday mall experiences into organizational learning. For the system to work long term, it must support more than just data. It needs to support the people who use it and the processes that guide daily operations. This is why we applied BATS people, process, and technology model. Now for people, the system relies on knowledge management champions and cross-mall communities who help maintain quality and encourage sharing. For process, taxonomy rules, validation workflows, and standardized templates ensure consistency in reports and documentation. And for technology, Azure SQL, Synapse Analytics, and Knowledge Repository create a strong and secure foundation. With these three areas that work together, knowledge becomes reliable, accessible, and ready for use in decision making.
So this architecture shows how knowledge management system operates end-to-end. On the left side, as seen, are all the raw data sources such as the leasing systems, the point of sale data, the foot traffic counters and event logs, and the operational incident reports. These input flows into the integration layer where data is then extracted, cleaned, validated, and prepared. At the center is the knowledge respiratory, which stores structured data, reports, templates, and documents with proper tagging. And the Azure Synapse then transforms these records into dashboards, forecasts, tenant mix analytics, and event performance insights. On the right side is the user layer. This includes teams from leasing, operation, events, marketing, design, finance, and the information technology. Everyone sees the same information, and everyone can contribute new knowledge back into the system. This creates a continuous loop where data becomes knowledge, knowledge becomes action, and action generates new data for improvement. To make sure that the system supports the entire organization, we identified several important requirements. For functional needs, the system must gather data from multiple sources, apply consistent tagging, produce clear dashboards, and maintain a searchable knowledge respiratory system. For non-functional needs, the system must be secure through role-based access and encryption. And it also must be scalable so it can handle growing data from more malls, and it must be easy to use so both technical and the non-technical staff can then ultimately work comfortably. And these requirements are actually, they ensure that the system is not only ready for today, but also ready for future expansion.
One of the strongest features of the system is tenant mix optimization. This tool analyzes sales, rent yield, customer traffic, and store placement in order to recommend the best tenant combinations for each area inside the mall. The system uses explainable machine learning, which means leasing teams can clearly understand why a certain tenant is suggested. Every recommendation is linked back to the original source data in Azure SQL. This module addresses a long-time bottleneck in SM Prime. Tenant mix decisions are often based on intuition or limited information. With this tool, leasing teams can make faster, more consistent, and more profitable decisions backed by data from all malls.
The expert locator system of our proposed KMS identifies staff with relevant experience from more than 80 malls by using expert profiles and tag past cases. It helps cut the time needed to find solutions because users are matched with people who have already handled similar issues. This strengthens institutional learning and prevents repeated mistakes. The second part focuses on productivity. One-click templates and auto-filled forms reduce repetitive work. Natural language search makes it all easy to retrieve insights. Source links allows quick validation of information, and offline mobile capture support teams during high-volume events. All of these features make system faster, easier, and more reliable to use.
The next set of features focuses on events and organizational knowledge. Event performance tracking uses a single template for all malls. Attendance and sales data are automatically checked against point-of-sale records and foot traffic counters to ensure accuracy. This allows malls to compare event outcomes fairly. The knowledge repository gathers best practices, templates, and case studies in one place. Teams can search for similar past events, tenant mix changes, or operational strategies, making it easier to avoid repeated mistakes. The expert locator helps staff find colleagues from other malls who have handled similar situations. This reduces time spent looking for answers and encourages collaboration and mentorship across the network. Together, these features build strong institutional memory for SM Prime. These solutions create measurable impact. Operational efficiency improves through a 20% faster leasing decision process and a 25% reduction in manual reporting. Knowledge reuse increases by 30% as more malls apply shared strategies. Vacancy backfill time improves by 15%, and tenant renewal likelihood increases by around 10%. By having a unified system, SM Prime benefits from more accurate insights, faster coordination, and a stronger overall portfolio.
So, in conclusion, the proposed KMS will transform scattered information of SMPH into a connected and reliable network of knowledge, and enabling this better decision making and encouraging continuous learning across all the malls of SMPH. It also supports leasing, operations, marketing, finance, design, and IT department by giving them access to the same clear and consistent information. So our roadmap for the KMS will follow 6 stages, and the first one would be governance setup, which defines the roles of stakeholders, ownership, and data standards to make sure that knowledge is managed properly across all the malls. And the next one would be architecture finalization, wherein we complete the technical design and confirm all the integration points of the system. The third stage would be the system development and data integration, which involves building all the remaining modules and connecting all major data sources. And after that, the fourth stage would include enter testing and refinement, wherein users will be able to validate and provide feedback to improve the system. The fifth stage is pilot implementation in flagship malls such as the SM North EDSA and MOA to measure real performance and adjust any remaining gaps in the system. And lastly, the system would be rolled out nationwide, and this will be followed by the introduction of a more advanced analytics feature of the system.